Hello, REeBroker Group agents. Thank you so much for joining us for our January 2022 Realtor Training Opportunity. We're very excited that you have chosen to join us this morning. We have a few things to go over in terms of REeBroker Group training. We're going to talk about some marketing compliance items, as well as touch on the new opt-in REeBroker Group fee structure that you may opt into. We also have a guest speaker, John Sexton, from Sierra Lending Corporation, and he's going to go over a few loan programs that they offer that you and your buying clients may be interested in. All right, so let's go ahead and get started.
So our mission is to originate and service high credit quality portfolio mortgages. I think the key word in here is common sense underwriting. Truly, most of our programs aren't score driven, so we really like to look at the whole picture of the borrower. So we just don't focus on a score and kick it out. Now, I will say that our focus has not been lower credit borrowers. We tend to, want the moderate to higher credit. We're really not equipped to manage the more subprime style loans. That's probably better suited for the hard money guys. So that's not really our bailiwick. Next slide, please. So, why Sierra? Once again, we're a portfolio lender. As I mentioned earlier, we've got rapid decisioning and approving. None of our products, our owner-occupied products, have prepayment penalties. And, one of the nice things is for a lot of the higher net worth borrowers like to close their loans in an LLC or a corporate name instead of their personal name. So we have that ability, although there's a personal guarantee. But a lot of people, for tax planning and just asset protection, will want the LLC or the corporate name. So we can certainly do that. Next slide, please. So what is an Alt-A borrower? We call Alt-A, as I mentioned earlier, we're referred to non-QM, but we really refer to it as a borrower that generally is less than a 90% loan to value, that for some reason doesn't qualify for the GSEs, i.e. Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA. There's a lot of items that can cause a borrower not to fit within the GSE bucket, and we'll go over a few of those in the next couple of slides. Next slide, please. So a few examples of a general Alt-A loan. I think a lot of you, we've been doing bank statement loans for the last 12 years. A lot of folks seem to have jumped on the bank statement bandwagon. But we were, I think, one of the first to really, truly do those and continue to do it. A lot of the Wall Street firms that offer bank statements, they're here today. And frankly, if you look at the history on some of these Wall Street, non-QM folks, they leave as quick as they come. So, be a little bit careful about some of those. But I think we understand bank statements as good as anybody. And our bank statement's truly an awesome program. I'm not going to dig into the weeds on underwriting other than talk high level, but in the question section, if you've got some more specifics on how these work, I'm happy to spend some time. Another reason for Alt-A is, maybe the borrower's employment history is less than required. We see borrowers sometimes that they're on a W-2 and then they're working for the same company, and all of a sudden they elect to be on a 1099, or the company elects them to go on a 1099. Or they were working for a company and now they're going on their own doing the same thing, but they don't have the 2-year history that Fannie Mae requires. We certainly like to look at those loans. Sometimes, particularly self-employed, their debt ratios are a little bit higher. But, we can often compensate for those higher debt ratios with, other things like bank statements and to better understand. I mean, like I say, we're looking for a more common sense approach. We want to put people in a house and they can make sure they can afford it. But we do have some flexibility on the debt ratios if we're confident they've got some other income from an outside source that maybe not be fully documented. As I said, we're not a subprime lender, but if they've got some minor credit clips, we'll certainly review it. There may be some occupancy or property characteristics that may not meet the guidelines. I'll say we're not really focused on the manufactured home or geodesic dome or really out there oddball properties. But if it's a non-warrantable condo, or if it's a house with an HOA that's a little bit unusual, or there's some nuances to the property, we certainly will consider that. And once again, the loan size may not exceed the GSEs, i.e. jumbos. We've got a great conventional jumbo program. I think our rates are better than most that are out there. And the only item is that is a GSE kind of underwritten program, but we go to the jumbo characteristics. But if you've got a jumbo and you need a good rate, although a little bit outside of the box of what we've done, we've got a fantastic jumbo program. Next slide, please, Sarah. So let's kind of dig into what our I guess our most quote popular products are. One is our foreign national program, and a lot of times we're going to talk about I-10 loans in a minute, but a lot of times people have a tough time distinguishing between a foreign national and an I-10 borrower. We define a foreign national as a borrower that's here in the U.S., that wants to buy a primary or secondary residence, or frankly, investment property, but they're earning their income outside the U.S. in the country of origin. So, there's a lot of different kinds of visas. Frankly, our I-10 borrowers typically, we'll get in a second, don't have a visa, but on our foreign nationals, they can work on a tourist visa. They can be on a short-term visa, work visa. We're very flexible on the visa. The only thing we will not do on the foreign nationals are folks that work for a consulate, because they've got diplomatic immunity, and diplomatic immunity means they're not subject to U.S. law. And if you're not subject to U.S. law, if you don't pay your mortgage, you can't go after the people, and they basically can live there as long as they want. So we will not do, or anybody does loan that I'm aware of that will do a loan for folks with diplomatic immunity, but everything else on other visa types, we're very, very flexible. Next slide, please. So let's talk about I-10. An I-10 borrower is someone that's also here in the U.S., but the difference between an I-10 borrower and a foreign national is the I-10 borrower is working here in the U.S. and earning money here in the U.S. The issue that a lot of the I-10 borrowers is they typically have a tough time documenting their immigration status. So what that means is we're not really going to ask for green cards. We need to see their ID, either a matricular consular or their passports, but we're not going to ask for their immigration status. Many I-10 borrowers, frankly, work on a social security number that may or may not be verifiable, but they file their taxes on a true I-10 number. Individual taxpayer identification number is what I-10 stands for, is what the borrowers work for. Typically, those borrowers that have an I-10, the number starts with the number 9. We, on our I-10 program, we go up to 85% loan to value. We will also, because a lot of the I-10 borrowers are entrepreneurial, and like every good tax-paying person, they take every advantage, particularly self-employed. They take advantage of the IRS code as set forth to them, and oftentimes self-employed people have a lot of write-offs. And that also goes for the I-10 borrowers who are self-employed. So as such, we've opened up our bank statement program to the I-10 borrowers. All of our products allow up to 30-year amortization. We don't have any balloons or any crazy stuff. They're straight amortizing loans. If a borrower came to us and said, I want a 6-year loan, or I want a 7-year loan, or I want a 15-year loan, or some or 14-year loan, or some non-conventional loan term, we can certainly originate the loan. And this goes for all our products for that as well, because as a portfolio loan, we can design that for them. Our minimum loan amount's $125,000, which I'm in Houston, California. And actually in Houston, that's a very low for the way prices have gone up. But our minimum loans 125. As I mentioned earlier, we allow the matricula consular as a form of ID. If the borrower is working on a W-2, albeit a social that may not be fully registered, for the W-2 borrowers, we will use the tax returns that they file in the I-10, not the invalid social. Like any loan, its employment asset verification is important. Next slide, please. Other things we do, as I mentioned, we've got a great jumbo program that goes up to 90 LTV. Our bank statements will also go up to 90 on everything but on all of our loans except for the I-10s, which is 85. But everything else across the board will consider 90. As I mentioned earlier, we close in corporate or LLC names. We have a one-off program where if the borrower wants to buy a house and then add a pool or have some additions or home improvements, we can roll that into the first lien, and it kind of works like a mini construction loan. It's not designed as a full-on heavy-duty, build the house from ground up. It's really made for projects that last less than 90 days, like a pool or a small addition. We can oftentimes roll that into the loan. As I mentioned earlier, we'll loan to borrowers, foreign nationals with a number of work visa types, including if part of their income is in the U.S. and part of their income is outside the U.S. And we do consider investment properties on all our properties, including the foreign nationals and I-10s. Next slide, please. And that's it. I wanted to keep it short and simple. I know some of these things can drag on. I've also added on the slideshow our partners who are, by the way, they're in California. So I can open this up for questions if you think appropriate, Sarah.
Yes, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them into the chat. Or any comments about any of the programs that John just went over. So as people are going, as you're formulating your questions and putting them into the chat, I'll go ahead and move on. We just have a couple of in-house things regarding marketing compliance. So my name is Sarah. I'm the marketing director for REeBroker Group. And so we're just going to go over a couple of compliance things that we've seen. And so as you start to kind of like revamp your marketing materials for 2022, we really want you to make sure that you're following the agent marketing guide, which you can find on your agent homepage. So we want to make sure that you know that all of the first point of contact marketing material need to have your name as it's listed on the DRE, your DRE number, the broker name, REeBroker Group, and the DRE number and NMLS number. So you don't have to add an address for your marketing material. However, if you do put an address on your marketing material, it has to be the broker's address unless you have a registered branch license. So if you're going to be displaying any addresses or anything and have questions about that, please reach out to our office. So here are some of the areas that we are checking for compliance. We do have a compliance department that we are running through, cycling through our agents every 3 to 6 months. We are checking your social media, your websites, things like that. And as you're emailing in, we're checking your email signatures. So we're really trying to stay on top and help you guys be successful and not receive any of those DRE fines for marketing. So please go ahead and review your online profiles and your websites. So go to Google yourself, check it out, make sure that you have all of the things that are in compliance, your DRE license number, your name, the broker's name, the broker's license number. Make sure that your voicemails are set up. there are many times where we call agents and your voicemails are full and we are unable to leave voicemails. So we really want you guys to be successful. We want clients to be able to reach you. We want to be able to reach you. So set up those voicemails and make sure that you're cleaning out your inbox so that people can be leaving leaving you guys messages. When you do set up your voicemail, make sure that you're not incorporating different company names and you're not using names that aren't registered through the DRE. So if you need any assistance with that, please email compliance@rebrokerca.com and we can help you set anything up that you need assistance with. We definitely want you guys to be successful and not get fined. And then, so on your agent homepage, you can see that in the left-hand column, there's a personal info link. Go ahead and click on that and make sure that your personal information is up to date so that we have your correct address, so that you guys are getting your, checks in the mail. We have your up-to-date websites. You can also put in any kind of wiring information in the back end. Make sure that we have your W-9 on file just to start the year out. Make sure that everything is up to date. And then we do have this great marketing hub. If you go into your agent tools page, this will be found on the left-hand column. And as you can see, you can find your real estate agent marketing resources, the professional development webinars, and any kind of marketing downloads can be found there as well. We have links from the DRE, CAR, anything that you need about marketing will be found here. For those of you who do have your MLO license as well, we do have advertising requirements and resources available in this section as well. I just wanted to touch base. We discussed at the December 2021 training that we do have a new fee schedule that is available for you as agents to opt into. It's an 8% broker fee with a $15,000 annual cap. You will be receiving an agent message and an email with more information on that. And the opt-in date is March 1st. So if you guys have any questions about that, you can feel free to email us at info@REeBrokerCA.com, or feel free to call in or put your questions in the chat and I'll answer them as best I can. And then keep sending your ideas and your feedback about the website. We are constantly trying to improve our website to be more user-friendly, to ensure that we are putting new resources in front of you guys each month. We want you guys to be as successful and up to date on the market and different trends and successful in what you need to run your transaction from start to finish. So. All right. So if you guys had any questions, here's the email address as well. There were a couple of questions that came in, John, about about the programs that your company offers. So what kind of rates are available for I-10 borrowers?
Rates, it varies by loan to value, i.e. down payment. As I said, we go up to 85% or 15% down payment. But, ballpark, its rates are in the 5s to upper 6s generally.
Oh, awesome. And a follow-on question for that is, how fast can you close an I-10 loan?
We can close a loan within the time TRID allows. Typically the slowdown is not on our side. The slowdown is typically, getting the appraisals and the title company to respond, et cetera. But if we have a full file today, we'll disclose it today and get it in. I think the quickest the TRID allows is, I think it's 14 days. And we've done that before, but like I say, that's assuming we can get the appraisal in short order, which is out of our control.
Definitely. Okay. And then we did have a question from Cynthia, who's asking if you could review your jumbo program.
Sure. Our jumbo program really has two subsets. One is what we call our prime jumbo or our conventional jumbo. It's underwritten to the GSE guidelines. In effect, it's just the loans are higher. Interesting enough, we can also run it through the DU, and if we get an accept, or if we get a reject, if it accepts but rejects it due to the loan size, it's still approvable. Rates on those are in the low threes, typically 30-year fixed. The other jumbo program we have is our bank statement and our Alt-A program, which rates on that are upper threes to fours. And that's for the self-employed, more QM, non-QM kind of borrower. So we really kind of cover the gambit and jumbos from the plain generic full doc, conventional kind of jumbo, all the way to the self-employed jumbo borrower. And we go up to, I think, 3 million for our loan sizes, and the max LTV is 90.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's see. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to keep putting them into the chat. We have a question regarding business loans, and if we're starting business loans, and what are the requirements and terms?
We don't really have a commercial lending program. I mean, I guess the closest to a business loan is someone that's got a single member LLC that wants to buy an investment property. But if it's true, like a banker business loan, that's not our forte. Okay.
And then do you have any programs for investment properties?
Absolutely. We cover the gambit from, our foreign nationals, our I-10s, our, our conventional jumbo program, and frankly, our bank statement jumbo program all cover investment properties. So it really varies on the scenario, but yes, we do have an investment property program.
Awesome. We did have a couple of questions regarding the new fee structure. The new fee offer, the new fee structure, if you decide to opt in, it's not just for brokers, broker associates, it's for salespersons as well. So if you have any questions regarding that, you can email in or ask any additional questions. For dual agency and high risk, you can email into info@REeBrokerCA.com to ask your specific questions. Kathy Lester is usually the one that runs the high risk program, so she will be sure to answer your questions. Are there any other questions regarding marketing or the new fee schedule that you may opt into, or any questions regarding the loan programs that John went over? I don't see any more questions coming in. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining us. Please repeat about the marketing hub. Okay, Kishore. In your agent, when you log into your agent homepage and you go to your agent tools section, on the left-hand column, you'll find a link that says Marketing Hub, and you can click on that. And here, let me see if I can pull back up that slide for you. And this is what that page is going to look like. And you can click on the agent resources, and that will have links to your agent marketing guide, any other kinds of marketing resources, all will be found there. Business card links, signs, logos, things like that can all be found there. The professional development will have our some archived webinars from the past, along with some marketing templates and things like that you can download. So that will be found on your agent tools page. So currently, that's a great question, Natalie. So the current flat rate fee structure is the $500 flat fee plus $135 risk management fee per million. The new fee structure for the salespersons that you may opt into is a flat 8%. And that is and that's the broker split fee, and it will cap at an annual cap at $15,000. So you won't pay over $15,000 in broker fees if you opt into the new fee structure. So that's the difference. All right. All right, you guys. So we're hitting that 30-minute mark. So we want to make sure that we keep these short and sweet and to the point. If you guys have any additional questions for John or for myself, you can go ahead and email in and we'll be happy to answer those for you. Thank you so much, John, for taking time and being with us today.
Well, thanks for the invitation. And if I can send out our contact information via email, however you can help facilitate, just so they know how to get in touch with us, that would be terrific. And thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely. We'll definitely send a follow-up email with your information.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Thank you, guys.